Unmute.
गुड आफ्टरनून एव्हरीवन. आता खूप दिवसांनी हे लेक्चर होते. पेपर 2 लेक्चर आय थिंक लास्ट वीक आय कुडंट टेक. सो आय विल जस्ट रिवाइज लास्ट टाइम जेवढं झालेलं थोडंसं in short I will revise and then I will take the next part. Okay, so last time we had done one thing was nothing but the concept of interrupt. So interrupt is nothing but a signal. Interrupt is nothing but a signal which is given by either hardware or the software program to the microprocessor, so that a specific job has to be done. Okay, so what happens is the microprocessor at that time will, whatever it is executing, it will stop executing that, it answers that particular interrupt and then comes back to the main program. Now the interrupts are of type hardware and software. So interrupt we had seen, those are hardware interrupt is nothing but trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5 and RST 5.5 are the vectored interrupts, and INTR is nothing but the non-vectored but the lowest priority interrupt. Then we had seen the software interrupts, RST and then N. This particular instruction is nothing but your software interrupts, where N varies from 0 to 7. So RST 0 is one command, RST 1 is another command, RST 2 is another command. So whenever such type of instruction occurs, at that time, for example, if I say RST1, okay, so RST1 means it will execute the instruction at 0008 या location मध्ये, whatever is the instructions which are written will be executed. If I say RST2, that means 2 into 8, that is 16 in decimal, that is nothing but 0010 in hexadecimal. Okay, so at 0010 location, whatever is the instruction will be executed. Trap 7.5, 6.5, 5.5 are called as the vectored interrupts. So again 7.5 into 8, 6.5 into 8, 5.5 into 8 and 4.5 into 8, that is the vector address for these instructions, these interrupts. Okay, then last time we had seen the concept of the stack. Stack is nothing but a memory where you can store the register contents temporarily. Whenever required, the register contents will be stored temporarily. Okay, and in order to store that, we use the instruction which is called as the push instruction. Push, and then you have to write the register pair's name, and exactly opposite is nothing but the pop instruction, and then you have to write the register pair name. So I had told you about the stacking of this, correct? How that is stacked. So stack pointer is nothing but a 16-bit register which holds the address of the top of the stack. So here you cannot store anything. Above the stack pointer you can store, above the stack pointer you can store the certain values. For example, 30 and 20. This is in, for example, H and L या register मध्ये, if suppose these are the values, those will be stored, and now the new stack pointer will point to this particular address. Correct? So SP becomes SP minus 2 when you use the push instruction, and pop instruction, the things will be taken out. Actually, they remain in the stack only, but they are popped out and then they are stored in the HL register. I think we had done up to this last time. Okay. Anyone has difficulty in this? Stack pointer. Okay, push instruction will push the register pair, correct? You have push B, push D, push H, and push PSW. PSW stands for A and F. So stack pointer always becomes SP minus 2 value. So this was the example which I had given. Okay. Now the top of the stack will be 7FFB. This is called as the last in, first out type of a data structure. Okay. And the pop instruction, correct? When you say pop D, pop B, that time these values will be taken out and then the stack pointer will point to this particular address. That is nothing but push and pop instructions we had done. Okay. And then we had done some branching instructions. In case of branching instructions, you know, jump instruction, correct, and conditional jump instructions. These are the two branching instructions we had seen. Jump instruction is nothing but you have to mention the 16-bit address. So instead of the sequential whatever it was performing the instructions it was executing, instead of that particular address instruction, it will go to the other address where this particular address is mentioned, and that particular instruction in the address will be executed, correct? And then you had the conditional jump. There were jump if carry, jump if no carry. So carry flag was checked in that case. Jump if zero, jump if not zero. Zero flag was checked in that case. Jump if parity even, jump if parity odd. Parity flag was checked in that case. And then jump if positive, jump if minus. In that case, the sign flag was checked. Today we are going to see the other branching instruction, which is called as the call instruction. Okay. So call is nothing but an instruction which is also called as the branching instruction. It has similar type of syntax as you have in jump instruction. So jump and then you were mentioning the 16-bit address. Similarly call and 16-bit address, or if it is a conditional call, then whatever is C and whatever is the condition, CC, CNC, CZ, CNZ, CPE, CPO. Condition is same. Instead of J, you will be writing C. Okay. And then you have to mention the 16-bit address in this case. After that, you must have the return and return if whatever is the condition. Now these instructions are mainly used to call the subroutine. In C++, you must have, you know what is a function, right? What is a function? Function is nothing but a set of instructions. Function is nothing but a set of instructions which can be written outside your main structure, that is main program or main function. And whenever required, you call that particular set of instructions by using using the name of the function, right? That in C++, in C++, you must have already मिहिर म्यूट कर तुला मिहिर म्यूट कर. Okay, so this is your main function, and then you write the another function outside the main function, correct? And whenever required, for example, area, if it is the name, correct, you call it by this particular the name of the function. So these set of instructions are called again and again. You can call again and again in the main program. They are not written in the main program. They are written outside the main program. And whenever required, you call them, correct? So what happens is, whenever you call the function, these set of instructions will be executed and it returns to the next instruction. Ithejika instruction, for example, if you have written C out, for example, A, correct? Then it is nothing but this particular instruction will be executed. Now, whatever you say function in C++ is nothing but the subroutine in 8085. So it is nothing but subroutine is nothing but subroutine is nothing but subroutine is nothing but a set of instructions which are used again and again, but not written in the main program to make your main program shorter. Correct? So where you are writing the subroutine? Outside your main program. Correct? And whenever required, you can call it by using the instruction call instruction. Okay. Now before telling that particular call instruction how it works, I will just tell you what is the uh, program counter. You must know what is a program counter. Program counter is nothing but a 16-bit register which always points to the address of the next executable instruction. See, these are certain registers you must always remember, because in theory exam, at least 2 or 3 registers are asked, correct? For the explanation you will have to give. So whenever you are explaining that particular thing, you will have to mention how many bits register it is and what is the function of that particular register, correct? And the full form. So PC is nothing but the program counter. It is a 16-bit register which always points to the address of the next executable instruction. Now for that, suppose if this is my program, correct? This is my program and I have converted to the codes, correct? So the starting address is nothing but 6000. So when you execute that particular program, in practical we will be executing the program. That time whenever you execute the program, जसं तुम्ही C++ मध्ये run करता program, you have to execute the program in 8085. So at that time, initially PC will have this particular address, correct? So the instruction at this particular address will be executed. Now this is a 3-byte instruction. So now PC will have 6003. That means the next instruction to be executed after this instruction is nothing but the instruction at 6003. Then PC will have 6005, correct? So now the instruction to be executed will be at this and so on. Okay. Now when you talk about jump if not 0 to loop, at that time, correct, it is checking the condition, and now the PC will have this particular address, 6005 address. Therefore the instruction at 6005 will be executed and so on. The moment this condition is true, the PC will have this particular address. Therefore the instruction at this particular address will be executed. So PC always has the next executable instructions address, correct? Now how everything works in 8085. Now there is another register which is not accessible to the user, is nothing but IR, that is instruction register, correct? Now this instruction register always holds the first byte of any instruction. For example, now if suppose 6000 is the at instruction, PC is pointing to 6000, then 21 is the first code, right, of this particular instruction. Then this code will always be transferred to the IR, and from there it will be transferred to a section which is called as instruction decoder, which will decode this particular code. Okay, right now you might be finding it difficult, because that's why I sent you uh, two diagrams. Okay, block diagram में पाठवलाय मुद्दामून, because you will understand what is a instruction decoder and instruction register किंवा program counter, stack pointer. Okay, that in that block diagram it is always mentioned. Right now you just remember first byte of any instruction goes to the instruction register. From there it is transferred to the decoder. So decoder will decode what type of instruction it is. So suppose it is 21 code goes to the instruction decoder, then it understands that it is LXIH command, and then this particular, the next 2 memory address they contains will be transferred to the HL. For that, whatever signals are to be generated, the decoder will ask the timing and control section to generate those particular signals. So this is how in 8085 everything, every instruction works. Okay, so whenever a call instruction, I hope this you have understood. If anyone has any doubt, you can raise your hand, no problem. Okay. Now, whenever a call instruction happens in 8085, okay, we were talking about the call instruction, correct? So the call instruction is nothing but you have the code of the call instruction. Suppose if I have written MVIA 00, and if I say call, and then I have to mention a 16-bit address. For example, this set of instruction I have written at the address which is nothing but 6000. Okay, the codes for MVIA is nothing but 3E and then 00. This is a 2-byte instruction. I hope you remember all these things, okay, which I have already covered. Okay, now this is a 2-byte instruction. Therefore, the next instruction comes at 6002, which is nothing but call. So the code for call is nothing but CD, and it is a 3-byte instruction. Therefore, you will write the lower address first, lower byte of the address first, and then the higher byte. This is how you write the code. Now, this is a 3-byte instruction. So at 6005, for example, whatever might be the instruction, for example, if I say STA 7600, then these are the 32, correct, 0076. These are the code for these instructions, and so on. Now at 7000, for example, at 7000, I have written, for example, 47, that is move A comma B, correct? And for example, at 7001, because this is a 1-byte instruction, so at 7001, add B चा code आहे, for example, add B चा whatever might be the code. Okay, now initially PC will have this address. This particular code will go to instruction register, correct? And then instruction register will send this code to the instruction decoder. That means the decoder comes to know that 00 has to be transferred to A. So the A value will become 00. Now this particular address will be there now in PC. Once it comes to know that it is a 2-byte instruction, this address comes in program counter. Now the first code is nothing but CD that will go to the instruction register. Now the moment CD comes into the instruction register, it comes to know that it is a call instruction and it is a 3-byte instruction. So call instruction, that means this particular address madle instructions are now to be executed, correct? This 7000 मध्ये जे काही instructions लिहिले आहेत, those should be executed instead of this instruction now, correct? So what happens is this 6005 address will be pushed on the stack pointer, on the stack. Okay, this particular 6005 address will be pushed on the stack, which is the internal stack, and the 7000 address will go in the program counter. Since the 7000 address is in the program counter, this instruction will be executed. Then again the same thing happens. Then 7001 instruction will be executed, and moment it comes to the return instruction in the subroutine, return instruction in the subroutine, it has to come back to this now, correct? So the address, that is 6005, which was pushed on the stack, will come in the program counter, and the instructions from 6005 will be executed. I hope you have understood this, or should I repeat it again?
Ma'am, repeat karal ka?
Okay. Now what did I say? Program counter is a 16-bit register, correct, which always points to the next executable instruction. Stack is nothing but a set of memory which can store a certain register contents temporarily. करेक्ट. आता तुम्ही जसं सी प्लस प्लस मध्ये फंक्शन लिहिता, करेक्ट, हे फंक्शन जे लिहिलंय तुम्ही आउटसाइड द मेन प्रोग्राम, when this particular bracket appears, it goes back to the main program. करेक्ट. जिथे तुम्ही कॉल केलेलं असतं, सपोज एरिया हे फंक्शन तुम्ही कॉल केलंय, एरिया ए, आणि यू हॅव सेंट सम दिस, हे मेन प्रोग्राम मध्ये समजा यू हॅव कॉल्ड दिस, तर ह्या नंतरचा जो इन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे that will be executed once your area function is executed. It return backs to this particular statement, correct. Now the function in C++ is nothing but the subroutine in 8085. So it is a set of instructions which can be repeated again and again whenever required, but not written in the main program. They are written outside the main program. Like in C++, you write the functions outside the main program. Here also the subroutines are written in the outside the main program. इतकं कळलंय? Now, how this particular function is called or subroutine is called in 8085, that I was explaining. Now, program counter initially will have this particular address, correct? 6000 is the address in the program counter, correct? Now the first byte of the instruction, this is a 2-byte instruction, this goes into the instruction register. From there, it will be sent to the decoder to decode what type of instruction it is. So it is a 2-byte instruction and it is nothing but a data transfer group instruction. Okay, so decoder decodes that. And now it comes to know that it is a 2-byte instruction. Therefore, this particular address will be now in PC because the next executable instruction is this now. Correct? Now, this particular instruction, once it is over, then once PC has this address, now CD will go in instruction register. From that, it will send it to the decoder. There it comes to know that it is a call instruction. When it is a call instruction, what are you doing in this C++? It is executing the instructions which are outside the main program, correct? That means it has to execute the instructions at 7000 मध्ये ज्या instructions आहेत, that it has to execute. That means this address should be in the program counter. तरच इकडच्या instructions execute होतील. Correct? So when the CD goes in IR and that is decoded by the decoder, what happens is this particular address has a 3-byte instruction आहे, कळलंय त्याला, correct? This particular address is sent on the stack, is pushed on the stack by the microprocessor internally, and this particular address will be now transferred to the program counter. So program counter has 7000. That means after this, the next executable instruction is not this, but the instruction at this particular address. So move A, B. So that will be executed first. Then add B will be executed. Then moment return comes. The moment return comes, at that time, whatever is, I think D9 or C9, I don't remember the code of this. For example, C9 जर असेल, this code will go into the instruction register and the decoder will decode it that it is a return instruction. That means it has to return back to the main program following the call instruction. So that means the instruction following the call instruction is nothing but it is at this particular position, right? So that means this address must be in the program counter. But where is this address stored? On the stack. So that address comes to the program counter. Correct? It is popped out from the stack and sent into the program counter when the return instruction appears. And hence the 6005 instructions will be executed. Then whatever are the instructions, for example, if you have the instructions at 6008 and so on will be executed. Suppose at 6008, Again, you got the call instruction, call 7000 instruction. Again, the same thing will happen. It will always return back to the instruction following the call instruction once the return statements is in the subroutine. Correct?
हो ma'am.
Okay, so this is how in C++ also this same thing happens. Okay, so internal microprocessor does all these operations. So this call instruction which I told you is nothing but called as the unconditional call. Irrespective of anything, it goes to the 16-bit address which is mentioned. Correct? The 16-bit address which is mentioned in the instruction, the instructions or at those address will be called or executed when you say call instruction. Then instead of that, we can have the conditional calling. Now condition will depend upon the four flags. Which are those flags which we use for the condition? Zero flag, carry flag, parity flag, and then sign flag. Correct? These are the out of 5 flags, only 4 flags are used for the conditional branching. So here you will say call if 0. That means if the 0 flag is set, then it will call the instruction at the mentioned address. Otherwise, call if not 0. That means if the 0 flag is not set, it will call that particular subroutine. Similarly, if you have call if carry, call if no carry, call if parity even, call if or parity odd, call if positive, and call if minus. जसं जंपला आहे तसंच. Okay, so you have these particular conditional calls. Similarly, when I say return instruction, at that time, irrespective of anything, it returns to the main program. But if I say return if 0, that means it will return to the main program only if the 0 flag is set. Otherwise, it will continue with the subroutine only. If the 0 flag is set, then only it will return back to the main program. Otherwise, it will continue the subroutine. Similarly, return if not 0, that means if the 0 flag is not set, then only it will return back to the main program. Otherwise, it will continue executing the subroutine. Similarly, RPE, RPO, RP, RM, RC, RNC. These are the conditional call instructions, conditional return instructions. Got it? So these all are your branching instructions. I hope you have understood. So branching instruction मध्ये we saw unconditional branching मध्ये jump, call, return. Correct? And then we had the RST जो instruction आहे, RST. Correct? RSTN, that is also called as a branching instruction because the control will be transferred to a specific address. Correct? And then you have the conditional jump. So jump if condition, correct? Whatever is the condition. Then similarly you have call if whatever is the condition. Then you have return if whatever is the condition. These are all your conditional branching instructions. Then there is one more instruction which is called as PCHL. This is also called as a branching instruction. What did I say? PC is nothing but the next executable instructions are address त्याच्यात असतो. What is the meaning of this particular instruction? Whatever is the value in HL will be transferred to PC. So suppose if HL has 7000, then PC will have become 7000 once this particular instruction is executed. So if I say here, so this is called as the PC आता कुठले आहे 7000. So instructions at 7000 will be executed. If I say now LXI H6050, correct? And then if I say PCHL, okay? So suppose this instruction is at 6000 location, LXI, correct? then at 6003 PCHL चा code असणार आहे. Okay, now what will happen with this instruction? PC will become 6050. Correct? And the actually next instruction कुठली आहे at 6004 आहे. But since now PC has 6050, the instruction at 6050 will be executed instead of 6004. That means indirectly are asking it to jump to 6050. Are you understanding this? Instead of saying jump 6050, what I am doing is LXIS 6050 and then I am saying PCH. These two instructions will do the same thing what this instruction does. Got it? So this is called as the indirect jump. You are not directly telling where to jump. Indirectly you are telling it. And this is a branching instruction. PCHL is also a branching instruction. Understood, or anybody has any doubt regarding this? Then there is one more instruction which is called as SPHL. PCHL, just a HL contents will be copied into PC, that is program counter. Similarly, here the HL contents will be copied into stack pointer. So the whole stack will be moved from this place to this place. That is, suppose initially my stack is at 7FFF ला जर समजा stack pointer it is pointing right here. Okay. Now if I say HL has 7000 or for example C1000, correct? I will take another value C1000, correct? And now if I say SPHL, so SP will be now C1000, correct? So now the new stack pointer will be at this particular position, C1000 ya position. Now if you say push H or push whatever value, it will be pushed on this, not on this. Got it? This is your SPHL. Students, I hope you have understood these two. Hey, anybody who has not understood? The instruction, interrupt related instructions, I will tell you later on. There is one more instruction which is called as XTHL. That is nothing but exchange the top of the stack with that of HL. Top of the stack means this is your stack area, right? Now suppose 30 and 20 are in the stack, correct? For example, this was at 7FFF. Now, once you push something, then what is the value? FFFE and D. 7FFD is your now stack pointer. Correct? So, top of the stack were this and this value. Correct? Now, suppose HL has 20, no, not 20, 28, 38. These are the values. 2838 are the values in HL. Then with XTHL, this will become 28. This will become 38. And HL will now become 30, 20. Okay, this will be in the lower register. This will be in the higher register. Got it? So these are your stack related instructions. Top of the stack वर ज्या दोन values आहेत, those will be exchanged with the HL values. Stack pointer will remain 7FFD in this case because now the new values are pushed on the stack. So stack related, I will just once again tell you the instructions. One is nothing but SPHL, which we said. Another one is nothing but XTHL, which we which I told. Then push instruction, pop instruction. And if I say LXI SP and whatever is the value, for example, 16-bit address I have to give. So this is also, these all are your stack related instructions. So SP will become 6500. So LXI H, LXI B, LXI D, similarly LXI SP. There are only 3 minutes left. Any doubt, you can just ask me. Has everyone purchased the book or no? कोणाकडे पुस्तक नाहीये असं आहे का? All of you have the book? Anyone has difficulty? आतापर्यंत मी काय शिकवलं तो? Okay, good. Okay, shall I end the meeting then? Tomorrow at the same time, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I will take the one program and I will explain the pin diagram so that we can do the interrupt related instructions. There are hardly a few instructions are remaining. Halt, NOP, RIM, SIM, in, out, and EIDI. These are the 7 instructions which are remaining. Now, when I was teaching this, some part of the chapter 1 was also covered. Chapter 1 madhe you have the evolution of the microprocessor, flag registers, different registers, push pop, that is the stack operation, program counter, everything was in the chapter 1. Okay, then group of the instructions, then 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte instructions, then addressing mode, all were in chapter 1, and the instruction set is nothing but chapter 2. These two chapters are very important. Okay, 80% of your paper, theory as well as practical, is based on these two chapters. Then you have networking and then the other two chapters. Okay, tomorrow we will see the pin diagrams and then we will come back to the RIM and SIM instruction. Okay, I am ending the meeting. Okay, thank you.